So a woman has made a list of red flags in women and now she's receiving death threats. Child, let's talk about it.
It's Amber J. Lee. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's learn, pretty girls. And also, while you're here, just follow my Instagram as I also post updates.
Before I get into it, I'm going to put the list on the side and we're going to have it up. Pause to read if you need to read. I do think this list is slightly ridiculous, and I do think some of the things on the list were a little bit outrageous, or a lot of bit outrageous, because sis, what are you talking about? But I'm going to point out the ones that I do agree with and the ones I think are reasonable, and that they are, in fact, red flags that you should watch out with friendships with women. Because I have run across these red flags, have ignored these red flags, and they have came back to shoot me in the face. And you got to remember, how somebody interacts with one person is how they will eventually interact with you. That's just life. That's just human nature. Nobody is off limits. This woman who has made the list, young black woman, and something I agree with 100% is this one, where it says she thinks the children shouldn't have the father's last name. If you are in a committed relationship, or if you are married, your child should have the child's father last name, because that is just how it should be. That is how it is in Christ. I am a Christian woman. That is how it should be. If she's against that, only time I can see somebody saying, okay, that is okay, is if the father wants nothing to do with the child, or if the father did not want the child. Then that's the only time I can see if it's okay. But if she's like, this is my baby daddy, I'm with him, but he's going to have my last name just because, if she, no, that's no. If you willing to take his seed, you should be able to give the last name. Like, why carry a seed for a man that you don't want their last name? Like, that's kind of weird. Because I feel like when you have a baby by a man, you take their last name by being their wife. So why would you not want a child to have the same last name as somebody you took on? Another one that I agree with that's on the list, her friends can't hold her accountable. I think we all have had a friend where no matter what they did not want to be told that they were wrong. I had a friend like that in high school. Me and her fell out right before we graduated high school, because at the end of the day, she was just always right in any situation. Honestly, looking at her now, she doesn't have any friends now because she always thinks she's right in every single situation. Like, she can be dead wrong and will sit there and argue you down like she's right. I can't stand people like that. I feel like if you are so perfect and you make no mistakes, I don't need to be around you, because you're just too much of a liability. They are the type that will do something fraud to you and be like, oh, I'm not wrong, because they don't believe they're wrong. Terrible people. Next one is, she thinks marriage is a bigger commitment than having a baby. You don't know how many women are brainwashed. And look, I found out that this is a coping mechanism. When a woman says, oh, marriage is a bigger commitment than a baby, that is a coping mechanism. Because if that man that she is so in love with, that she is carrying a baby for, and that she is doing all these things for, asked her to marry him, she would say yes. You don't know how many times women who are baby moms be like, oh, marriage is nothing but a piece of paper. And as soon as a man asks her to marry her, she cannot stop posting that ring on Instagram. That's all she talk about. My man, my man, my man, my man. Women who are saying that, they are convincing themselves that they don't need to get married because that man that she is carrying a child for does not want to marry her. So in order to make it sound good, they start coming up with all these excuses about how, oh, marriage is such a big commitment, when in reality, they know a baby is more permanent than a marriage. It is a coping mechanism that I see right through. Your baby dad was to ask you to marry you right now as you're pregnant, what would you say? I promise you, yes would roll off the tip of their tongue. She glorifies rappers' baby mamas. I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of these rapper baby mamas be birds. Like, I'm not going to say who, but they just be like, are you slow? Is there a mental delay? If someone thinks that their behavior is everything glamorous and glitz and glamour, no. What I do like about them is their lifestyle. Like, they live an amazing life. Like, period. They're living it. But I feel like a lot of them are just, I don't know. Love their personalities, think they're gorgeous girls, but what they stand for, I can't stand for. One I do not agree with is the sex just because she doesn't want to. Women are allowed to not have sex because they don't want to. They don't need an explanation to anybody. It's their body. Like, that was real weird. Another one I thought was weird is, or I'm 50-50 about, is a relationship with the father. Now, I hate to say it, but some women parents are selfish. Like, you don't know how many times on TikTok I see somebody say, oh, I wish I knew my father. I wish I had a relationship with my father. And they don't have that. Can't really judge a child for, I could judge who the child becomes later on in life if they don't heal their trauma, of course, but I can't judge them for not having a relationship with their father. Like, sometimes your father's just toxic. Your father just runs off. Your father's just not the best. Your mother had a baby with somebody who didn't want nothing to do with you guys. Like, like, things happen. So I wouldn't really judge that. And I know somebody right now who does not have a relationship with their father, and they're an amazing person, married, have children, has a nice husband, beautiful children, beautiful daughters. So I can see somebody turn it out. So that's 50-50. Like, I can't really say, do you have a relationship with your father? You're just that and the third. Some people say it's a requirement. To me, it's 50-50. So read over this list. It's going to be at the end, or you can pause to read. Let me know in the comments what you do agree with. Let me know in the comments what you don't agree with, and let's have this conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back for more.